From CBS News Bay Area, this is the Afternoon Edition.
And right now on the Afternoon Edition, we're following a developing story out of South San Francisco. Several boats caught fire just outside of Oyster Cove Marina, forcing people to jump into the water. Our chopper was over the scene of that aftermath. And here's a look at the flames. South San Francisco Fire releasing these images. They say 3 boats were fully engulfed around 7 o'clock this morning. Crews rescued the people who jumped in the water to escape those flames. One of them was taken to the hospital with minor injuries. So far, no word on what caused those fires. Good afternoon, I'm Brian Yamamoto. Our other top story at noon today, a new crackdown on a tool that may help people escape crime scenes like sideshows. San Francisco is sending a cease and desist order to 4 major online businesses. The police chief and city attorney say Walmart, Amazon, eBay, and Etsy all sell illegal license plate covers. They're available for about $50 and make it harder for police to read plate numbers and track cars at sideshows or robbery getaway cars.
When we're able to detect license plates, oftentimes the results and the outcomes are good. We find the cars, we find the people, we find the property, we get people's property back to them, and we prosecute those through our district attorney who commit these crimes.
The city attorney says the letter was sent on behalf of the entire state. New York sent a similar letter to Amazon to have those devices taken down. Now to the Middle East, hundreds of dual passport holders and dozens of seriously injured Palestinians were allowed to leave Gaza today after three weeks under siege. It comes as Israel's military took aim at a refugee camp in Gaza for the 2nd day in a row, claiming they were going after Hamas targets. Natalie Brand has the latest.
Ambulances carried injured Palestinians across the border into Egypt for treatment Wednesday morning, while hundreds of foreign passport holders were also permitted to leave Gaza, some on foot, others in buses. U.S. diplomatic sources say Qatar brokered the deal between Egypt, Israel, and Hamas for the first limited evacuations from Gaza. A Palestinian Authority spokesperson says 81 badly injured people will be treated. The latest developments come as Israel intensifies its attacks in Gaza. IDF missiles hit a densely populated refugee camp just 2 miles south of the border. Hamas claims many civilians were killed and injured, while Israel says it targeted and killed a Hamas commander and other militants and destroyed a tunnel complex.
Here in Washington, there's a political battle over funding for Israel. The Republican-led House wants a standalone bill for Israeli aid, but President Biden has said he'll veto any bill that doesn't also include additional money for Ukraine.
Many senators from both parties also want to keep the funding together.
It would be a huge mistake to separate this package, and we got to have strong border provisions. So I will not support separation of the package.
The Biden administration is also closely monitoring any developments concerning the more than 200 hostages, including a number of Americans. A spokesman for Hamas claims the group will begin to release foreign hostages in coming days, though Israeli officials say there's no hostage deal in sight.
And the owner of a popular Bay Area ice cream chain says an act of vandalism at her flagship San Francisco store now being investigated as a hate crime. Vandals smashed store windows and spray painted Free Palestine on the Jewish-owned Smitten ice cream shop. This is in the Mission. It happened last week. Owner Robin Sue Fisher says they will reopen when repairs are complete. As for the hate crime allegation, we reached out to police but did not hear back. As San Francisco grapples with headlines that paint the city in a bad light, a group of people want to show others a more balanced perspective. Sean Chitnis explains.
Melissa Zajic has lived all over the world and now chooses to call San Francisco home with her family. These days, giving the complete picture about this city is not only personal, it's also business.
We get a lot of feedback from our members outside the city and back home in Australia that San Francisco looks like a war zone.
She's the executive director of the Australian American Chamber of Commerce in San Francisco, which supports cultural and business connections between both countries.
They ask every day if we feel safe just walking around our own neighborhood. My kids go to a local public school. I can't stress to them enough that life is really wonderful in many parts of the city.
So this week's Aussie Walkabout will try to capture more of what is actually happening in San Francisco. From the beauty of City Hall and the work happening in local government to the challenges inside the Tenderloin and the people trying to help that neighborhood each day, as well as the current state of retail and real estate along Market Street. Conversations similar to what Melissa discussed with her family when they visited earlier this year.
My own sister was planning a visit over the summer with her family, and her husband genuinely expressed concern about whether they should come and stay with us.
The walking tour wants to be an honest assessment for businesses based here and down under about the local economy, just like what her family saw during the summer, what's working well, and what could use some improvement.
We really got a much better sense of the city and some of the wonderful points about it.
The energy of San Francisco remains a draw for her, and she hopes it's a reason for more companies to do business here as well.
It's totally unmatched, definitely, when it comes to innovation.
And that walking tour is set to start at 2 o'clock this afternoon. Taking a live look at the Richmond-San Rafael Bridge for the past 4 years, Caltrans has reserved one westbound lane as a bike and pedestrian path. But this month, that test run is coming to an end. Critics of the experiment believe that the lane could be better used to ease traffic congestion for commuters headed into Marin. Now, Caltrans will have to decide the future of that path. But there's a new suggestion that could give everyone what they're looking for. That idea is to add a set of movable barriers on the bottom deck of the bridge and alternate the location of the bike lane according to the commute. The bridge has brought in a barrier moving truck, but so far, it's never been used.
And so right now there are 21 bikers in the morning commute that are crossing across a 3-hour time window. And yet there's 18,000 cars during that 3-hour window. And so we're calling for, use the truck that you bought to open and close this lane and let the cars through.
This plan has added some challenges. The cost and weight of those new barriers may be an issue, may also cause another traffic jam for people coming off the bridge in San Rafael.